After a week of eager anticipation, Episode 5 of the 2025 high-scoring sci-fi drama Murderbot has finally been released. Viewers who haven't seen previous episodes can catch up on the background in my playlist. Let's continue from where we left off last week. At the end of the last episode, Arata piloted the ship and crushed the rogue SIC unit into dust. But just as everyone was tending to the wounded, Murderbot discovered its programming had been hacked. To avoid harming the survey team, Murderbot acted decisively, picking up a weapon and choosing self-destruction. Witnessing this, Mensa, Arata, and the others were momentarily at a loss. Just as they prepared to evacuate, a figure suddenly appeared in the distance. Arata, thinking it was the rogue SIC unit, picked up a weapon from the ground and attacked first.
That is a doubtful uniform!
Hearing a scream, Arata realized the figure in the distance wasn't a SEC unit, but a survivor from the survey team, and everyone rushed over. From the woman, they learned it wasn't the planet's giant insects that attacked the camp, but that SEC unit. Besides her, the entire survey team had been brutally killed by that unit. Although they didn't know why the SEC unit turned rogue, now wasn't the time to dwell on it. Mensa brought the injured Rathi and the deactivated Murderbot back to the ship. After several hours of bumpy travel, the group safely returned to their previous base area. Bharadwaj placed the malfunctioning Murderbot into the diagnostic scanner and discovered severe damage to its body, and its programming had indeed been compromised. Fortunately, Bharadwaj was an expert in robotics. She deleted the hacked code and repaired Murderbot. While Bharadwaj was busy, Mensa located the survivor discovered at the camp, Lee Bibi. But Lee Bibi wasn't a scientist on the survey team. She was a cleaner responsible for sanitation and tidying.
Where are you people from?
Preservation Alliance. We're a non-corporate planet with a communal governing system.
Oh, neat. What are you doing on this shitty planet?
We have mineral and data options for this continent.
Oh, right. My bosses at Delphi used to call you guys the amateurs.
Pretty rude, but they weren't wrong.
Mensa had assumed the team's mission involved the planet's instruments, but Lee Bibi informed everyone their team's mission was also planetary survey, and she knew nothing about any instruments. Although Lee Bibi didn't seem to be lying, Mensa still detected something off in her eyes. Clearly, Lee Bibi was lying, but Mensa didn't expose her. With Bharadwaj's adjustments, the tampered program within Murderbot was entirely cleared, and its damaged body was soon repaired. However, just as everyone waited for Murderbot to reboot, Garathan rushed in to tell them the hacked code might not have been entirely removed. It turned out that while Bharadwaj was busy, Garathan accessed Murderbot's database and discovered thousands of soap operas inside. Since Murderbot was a security unit incapable of watching shows, Garathan suspected the soap operas in its database were planted by the hacker. Prioritizing safety, Garathan proposed destroying Murderbot on the spot, but his suggestion was rejected by Mensa. Mensa thought it was incomplete data cleansing, but Bharadwaj was certain she had purged all hacked code and had even double-checked to prevent mishaps. Garathan suspected the SIC unit's betrayal might not be accidental but a conspiracy by the mining company. Perhaps the company hacked the unit's programming, making it kill the survey team to hide the planet's instruments. As they argued about this, the rebooting Murderbot finally woke up.
The company isn't trying to kill you. Because if they wanted you dead, they would poison your supplies using the recycling system. The company has a financial interest in keeping you alive. The financial payments for your deaths will be extremely high.
Hearing Murderbot's analysis, they found it plausible, but security units had firewalls. If it wasn't an insider who hacked the programming, who else breached the system? Garathan was still uneasy. He asked Murderbot why its database contained so many soap operas. To convince everyone it hadn't turned rogue, Murderbot had to confess its fondness for watching shows. However, Murderbot's answer not only failed to dispel Garathan's suspicion, but heightened his alertness.
And why is that?
Let him go!
Sec unit.
Because I hacked the command flow from hub system.
Sec unit. Let Garathan be, please.
I don't like you.
See? You see?
I was done.
Seeing Murderbot suddenly lunge, everyone present was startled. Murderbot was tired of the pretense. It told everyone about its awakened consciousness. Learning Murderbot was self-aware made Garathan even more agitated, but Mensa beside him showed little surprise. It turned out Mensa had sensed something off about Murderbot since they landed on the planet. However, Murderbot hadn't harmed anyone and had instead protected everyone wholeheartedly, leading Mensa to realize it meant no harm. She instructed Murderbot to continue its protection duties, and regarding its awakened consciousness, the team could keep it secret. Although Mensa's promise seemed sincere, Murderbot, having watched thousands of soap operas, clearly knew human promises were often hypocritical. Even if Mensa didn't report it, Garathan would. But now wasn't the time to dwell on this. Murderbot advised they should activate the beacon and report the attack on the survey team. Hearing Murderbot's reminder, Mensa remembered this. She opened the computer to contact the company, only to find the planet's comms equipment was offline. Seeing the fault alert, Garathan realized why they couldn't contact Lee Beebe's team earlier. The communication beacon must have malfunctioned. As they debated what to do, Murderbot suggested manual activation.
Take the hopper to the beacon and set it off manually.
Not on your own, you won't. We are not about to trust you with our hopper.
I'll go too.
Ida.
I'm the best pilot.
The prerequisite was going to the beacon's location and linking via data. The beacon was merely offline, not damaged, and perhaps a reboot could restore communications. Mensa decided to pilot the ship to the beacon area. If it was simply offline, she could repair it herself. Worried about encountering giant insects, Mensa brought Murderbot along. However, during the trip, Mensa brought up Lee Beebe, feeling she was deceiving everyone. Murderbot had also sensed something off about Lee Beebe and shared its analysis.
If another group of scientists showed up at the habitat, said that they had just arrived on the planet and had an equipment failure, you would let them right in without asking any questions, even if I told you not to.
Yeah. They can be a bit naive. That must be so frustrating.
Learning Lee Beebe's team wasn't company-affiliated, Mensa also felt the attack might conceal a major secret. Perhaps the equipment they found earlier wasn't alien. As Mensa puzzled over this, the ship arrived at the beacon zone. Murderbot tried accessing the system for a reboot, but the system denied access. It seemed they had to land and reboot manually. However, just as Mensa searched for a landing zone, Murderbot suddenly detected a bomb within the beacon. The comms tower exploded mid-air. Although Murderbot adjusted course before the explosion, their ship was still affected and crash-landed in a clearing nearby. Murderbot inspected the ship and found the engines damaged in the blast, requiring repair. Mensa suspected the tower explosion wasn't accidental. Enemies might be nearby. She instructed Murderbot to repair it using the system manual and leave ASAP. However, Murderbot had deleted the manual. It turned out Murderbot was running low on memory, and to store soap operas, it had purposely deleted some data files from its hard drive, but the ship's system database had a backup, so it just needed to simply re-download it. Hearing Murderbot's explanation, Mensa looked exasperated but didn't blame it. She told Murderbot to tend to its wound first while she downloaded the manual. Murderbot looked down and saw a metal plate embedded in its abdomen. Thinking it minor, it casually pulled it out. Back on the ship, Murderbot opened the access panel. When they located the mainboard, they found its circuits shorted in the explosion. Without spare circuits, the board couldn't be fixed. Just when Mensa was feeling frustrated about what to do, Murderbot suddenly received a system alert, indicating that its body was experiencing a malfunction. It turned out that while the steel plate hadn't damaged the main circuit board, it had pierced its lubricant reservoir. Murderbot also discovered this. Assuming the remaining lubricant would suffice, it didn't address it. But while repairing the main board, its body leaned forward, causing the remaining lubricant to leak out. Without lubricant, Murderbot's body couldn't function. Realizing this, it tried to act, but the system suddenly crashed. Meanwhile, back at camp, Garathan and the others were unaware of Mensa's mishap. Garathan found in the ship's transmitted logs that it had reached the beacon zone 20 minutes prior. The system showed comms were briefly activated, but then suddenly cut off. Paradwaj speculated the comms equipment might have malfunctioned or been damaged by giant insects. Mensa might be repairing it, but Garathan felt something was wrong. Just then, Lee Beebe approached the console. From her, they learned the beacon was faulty before they arrived. Besides the beacon, the company-provided maps and equipment were also problematic.
Shit. You know, they're shitty equipment, shitty maps, shitty.
Shitty maps.
Yeah, why were your maps okay? Because I heard ours had these missing parts, and when we went near the missing parts, it's just when the trouble started.
So your team noticed areas that were left off of the corporate-issued maps.
Our maps were missing data too.
And the survey went to check out the places where the map was missing stuff. There were these creatures that tried to eat them. And then when they came back, that's when the sec units.
Hearing Lee Beebe, Garathan realized the planet was problematic. The map's missing zones might have been deliberately erased by the company, and the beacon was likely manually deactivated. But if the planet was problematic, why did the company send survey teams here? As Garathan puzzled over this, Lee Beebe, who had been crying pitifully moments before, suddenly turned hostile. Meanwhile, the deactivated Murderbot awoke from its coma. Opening its eyes, it saw a tube attached to its arm, injecting lubricant into its body. Mensa had discovered Murderbot's wound. She dismantled a ship's conduit and infused engine lubricant into its body. Hearing Mensa, Murderbot thought of a way to repair the mainboard. The neural network on the rogue sec unit's back was made of the same material as the mainboard circuits. They could remove the neural network to replace the damaged circuits. Mensa also thought this proposal was sound, and guided by Murderbot, she removed the neural network from its back. After several hours of effort, they quickly completed the repairs. Murderbot started the ship and headed back to camp with Mensa. Meanwhile, Libibi was coercing Garathan into the system. She needed the maps and planetary data.
We trusted you.
We saved your life.
How stupid are you? My life wasn't in danger. I don't work for Deltfall.
Then who do you work for?
You'll meet them soon enough. When we got more sec units.
Libibi wasn't a member of the survey team at all, but from another team. The sec unit they encountered earlier at the camp had its system hacked by her. Under Libibi's coercion, Garathan opened the database. But just as Libibi was about to download the data, Murderbot suddenly appeared behind her. Seeing Murderbot alive, Libibi took Garathan hostage, assuming a security unit would prioritize hostage safety. However, Murderbot didn't follow protocol.
Moving.
What the hell?
Seeing Libibi shot in the head, Garathan was stunned. Paradwaj informed Mensa that Libibi had accomplices. Learning other factions were on the planet confirmed Mensa's suspicions. But now wasn't the time to dwell on this. Murderbot advised they should evacuate the planet immediately. If Libibi's accomplices arrived, it couldn't guarantee everyone's safety. Hearing Murderbot's alert, Mensa urged everyone to quickly pack their things. Who really ambushed the exploration team? What earth-shattering secret is hidden on this planet? That concludes the 2025 sci-fi drama Murderbot Episodes 5 and 6. Viewers who enjoy the show can save this video. The system will automatically match you with updates when new episodes are released. Alright, that's all for today's share. See you next time.